I'm Rebecca Lombardo, Fractional CMO, and today I'm here with Jen Ford from Extend Partners Consulting. Hi, Jen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. Please tell me more about Extend Partners Consulting and what you do for them.
Okay, great. Well, Extend Partners Consulting is a coaching and fractional CXO firm providing outsourced professional services, and we mainly work with marketplaces, technology, retail, and travel-related companies. The main kind of pain point we focus on is really helping founders or business owners transition their companies from what I would call like a successful startup to a more mature scaling organization.
That makes sense. So, how would you describe kind of what makes you guys unique?
Yeah, I think working with a consultant like myself, for example, what is unique about that is you get the benefit of working with someone who's been there, done that, but might not be appropriate as a full-time employee. So, for example, you have the opportunity to leverage my 25 years of experience across many different industries, 12 of those being in vacation rentals, without having to hire me full time. And so that means you get to tap into my IPO experience, the 20 acquisitions I've been involved in, the $850 million of fundraising, and all of the value creation that's happened over my career. And really, the point is that somebody who has had some of those experiences can oftentimes come in and help you find a quicker path to success by being a part-time consultant to you. And I think specifically, what is unique about me or how I work, I would say there's two things that really stand out. And one is that my superpower is quickly assessing the state of a business and being able to really understand where to spend your time to create value. That's something that I've always been good at, and I come up to speed really quickly, which is pretty important when you're in a consulting environment. And second is my passion for driving execution. This is what I really love doing. I love working with business owners or entrepreneurs to help them take their vision and create a clear financial and operating plan behind it, and then to identify what the right metrics are to make sure they're being measured properly, to make sure that there's actions taken when things are off track or even when they're on track and going really well. You want to lean into that. And I really help create that culture of accountability. All of those things together are what I call the operating rhythm of a business. And every business that wants to scale needs to have a robust operating rhythm.
And I love how you come at it. I'm just going to add this because I'm also a fractional with the implementation piece, because if it's just assumed to be a consulting thing, that's different than coming in as a fractional, because you really you put on their jersey, like you are as if you're on their team. So I advocate for that 100%. I love hearing that.
That is such a good distinction. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I'm not just there to talk at people. I actually will do some of the heavy lifting and work with you to create the tools that you need to put that operating rhythm in place, and then be there with you as we implement it and make sure things are working. So, we all get lots of advice. Too much of even good advice is overwhelming. And so I come in and become essentially part of the team for a period of time to help implement those tools that you need to put in place.
Is there a prerequisite to working with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, if we're thinking about the coaching side of things, I think it's very important that you have a commitment to your own personal growth, and that you want to improve as a leader, and that you're willing to have regular recurring meetings. So if you're just looking for coaching and someone to focus on one-on-one development or be a sounding board, that's the prerequisite. If we're talking about fractional executive services, then the main prerequisite I have is that you are tracking your data on a monthly basis. If you don't have data, it becomes really hard for me to help you implement the tools you need to have this robust operating rhythm that we talked about. So that includes things like your reservation data, your financials, your headcount, and other operational items that will help us understand kind of where the business is today, and then really put a plan in place for where you want it to go in the future.
So if you thought about one of your happiest clients right now, can you describe why they are so happy with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest change I see with a lot of business owners I work with is that they go from being like making decisions based on their gut feeling to being truly data driven. And that allows them to feel much more in control. And so I've recently worked with a company in the vacation rental space and help them essentially put in place a financial model to establish all the metrics that they need to be looking at and to ensure everybody on the team has targets for 2024. And they're pumped. They feel like they can now take advantage of all the growth opportunities in front of them. And you might be wondering, like, well, what tactically are you doing, Jen, right? Like, are you just talking at people or what's happening? And tactically, what we do is we go in and I make sure you have a driver-based financial model to use as a guide. We develop a sales and marketing plan. We develop a headcount plan. And again, it all goes back to making sure we understand what metrics really matter to your business. And I even take the point of view of like, what do you need to be thinking about internally? And then are there metrics that are looked at externally that you need to be focused on as well? And how do you benchmark yourself against those? And so making sure that there's reporting and actions around those metrics.
Wonderful. So if somebody wants to reach out to you or get in touch with you, what is the best way?
So you can either find me on LinkedIn or you can email me at extendpartnersconsulting@gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.